Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving headfirst into a scenario that is honestly equal parts terrifying, cinematic, and just profoundly fascinating. We're going to take a step-by-step look at the global impact of a mega tsunami. Now, it's an extreme thought experiment for sure, but as we'll see, it actually has a lot to teach us about nature, resilience, and humanity. Picture this. You're standing on a quiet, peaceful beach. Out of nowhere, the gentle crashing of the waves just stops. You watch as the ocean begins pulling away from the shore, retreating so far back that it exposes the bare seabed for miles. And then, as you look out toward the horizon, you notice something physically impossible. A wall of water taller than the tallest skyscraper on Earth. And the truly chilling part? This wave isn't just heading toward your beach or even your city. It is heading toward every coastline on the planet. So what if a mega tsunami literally circled the Earth? Section 1. The asteroid impact. In this fictional scenario, the whole shebang kicks off with a colossal asteroid. We're talking a rock 10 kilometers wide. It slams directly into the ocean at just unbelievable speed. The ocean doesn't just splash here, it violently erupts, creating a gaping crater right in the middle of the sea. To really wrap our heads around the scale of a 10-kilometer rock hitting the water, we've got to look at the kinetic energy. The impact releases more energy than billions, yes, billions of nuclear bombs combined. It's almost too massive to comprehend, right? This unfathomable burst of energy sends a powerful, instantaneous shockwave racing rapidly across the planet's atmosphere. Now, the sheer speed of all of this is what makes it so incredibly dangerous. Within literally seconds of the impact, our global network of satellites detects the strike and that atmospheric shockwave. And within just minutes, tsunami warning systems worldwide start blaring. But, for the small islands closest to the impact zone, those alarms are ringing as they're already being completely overwhelmed. Section 2. Formation of the megawave. The physics of how a tsunami behaves are actually kind of deceptive. First, all that violently displaced water from the crater rushes outward. But out in the deep ocean, the wave is basically invisible. Seriously, huge cargo ships might not even feel it passing right underneath them. The real nightmare begins in the shallows. As this insanely fast, deep wave hits coastal waters, friction hits the brakes on the front of the wave, and all that water behind it just piles up. It transforms from a stealthy deep-sea ripple into a terrifying wall of water hundreds of meters high, effortlessly swallowing those exact same cargo ships that were totally safe a minute ago. Section 3. Coastal cities under siege. As this monster wave reaches major coastal hubs, the human element is, well, pure chaos. Emergency sirens echo through the streets, and millions frantically try to evacuate, but highways instantly gridlock. There's just nowhere to go. You'd have helicopters buzzing overhead, desperately searching for survivors, while emergency responders race a clock that can't possibly beat. Rushing floodwaters rapidly swallow towering downtown buildings. Sturdy bridges snap and collapse under the crushing pressure of the sea. And those coastal ports, the absolute lifelines of global trade, are violently swept away as the ocean just surges inland. Section 4. A worldwide disaster. Make no mistake, this is a truly global event. Coastlines on every single continent experience highly destructive waves. Now, sure, the exact size and destructive power will naturally vary depending on local coastal geography and, how far a specific beach is from that initial Pacific crater. But absolutely no continent is spared from the sea's reach. High above the chaos, satellites orbiting the Earth are capturing this unfolding disaster, watching dark storm clouds gathering ominously above oceans worldwide. Down on the surface, despite the unimaginable scale of the catastrophe, international rescue operations kick off immediately. But man, they face an incredibly steep uphill battle. Our global communication networks heavily struggle to stay online amidst all the flooding and massive infrastructure collapse. Section 5. The global aftermath. The aftermath here is incredibly sobering. Entire coastlines have been permanently reshaped by the sheer force of the water. Once bustling harbors are in ruins, and coastal roads have completely vanished beneath thick layers of mud and oceanic debris. Millions of people suddenly need emergency assistance as helicopters scour flooded, totally unrecognizable neighborhoods. But there is a silver lining. International aid teams deploy rapidly, working hand in hand to provide critical food, water, and medical care. Almost overnight, humanity is faced with what would be the greatest rebuilding effort in the history of our species. Section 6. Why this matters. Fortunately for all of us, a disaster of this scale is extraordinarily unlikely.
But imagining extreme events like this, it helps us deeply understand the incredible, untamed power of nature, and it puts a massive spotlight on the paramount importance of disaster preparedness. Ultimately, survival wouldn't depend on technology alone, but on how humanity worked together. If a day of global catastrophe ever truly came, all our fancy satellites and warning systems would only buy us minutes. At the end of the day, our survival wouldn't rely on our tech, but on our compassion, our preparedness, and our capacity for global cooperation.
We've explored the absolute worst the ocean could throw at us, and we've seen that humanity's greatest strength is our ability to band together and rebuild. It leaves us lingering on our own human resilience and curiosity, prompting one final, fascinating thought for all of us to consider today. What should we imagine next?